Well, hello.
Oh,
Not a bad Sunday afternoon so far.
lovely Sunday afternoon. Sun is shining. You know,
Yeah, Arsenal
can't
shining.
complain. Arsenal shining in some respects.
Yeah, yeah. So, God, what's your feeling? Post final whistle, post on the whistle feeling.
Um, Obviously pleased. We won, and I think you've said in recent weeks we're doing that thing of finding a way to win. It was so weird because I think going forward, I thought we were excellent today, absolutely brilliant, and yet we were so open. And were Watford way more clinical, they showed why they're in the bottom three. That lack of quality is apparent, isn't it? But
Yeah,
we were just so open.
you think of that Dennis chance. I don't know, was it 2-1 at the time, or maybe it was 3-1? But that Dennis chance when, for all the world, I thought he was offside first, but he wasn't. And for all the world, I thought you've got to score that.
Yeah,
and he skied it. Well, we actually skewed it behind him or wherever it went. I don't know, but yeah, it was an odd spectacle. Like you say, Ødegaard and Saka were unplayable at times, and had we been more clinical with our kind of final ball, well, the game would have been out of sight kind of ages ago. But yeah, why were we so? I don't know. Maybe it was Watford decided to play more on the front foot and caught us by surprise a little bit. I don't know, but I've no.
I think that's why I was very trepidatious about going into the game, because so many, obviously the bookies had us favourites. A lot of people talking up our chances of top four, being in such a good position, and we are conditioned to see these games as banana skins. But it is that psychology of it. Essentially, Watford have got nothing to lose by going for it.
Yeah,
because they're in the relegation zone anyway. So
any point they get from this game is a bonus for them. They wouldn't be looking at their remaining fixtures and think, this is one we can pick up points in. However, they did just draw at Old Trafford in their previous game, so they did pick up a point at a ground in a game where nobody would have expected it.
But on United's recent form,
true. I mean, I didn't expect United to drop points in that game. That was a real kind of bonus 2-point drops from an Arsenal perspective. But like you, I did a little kind of piece to camera on Twitter before the game when the team news was announced, and I said, yeah, we should win, but why am I feeling so nervous about it? And I think the last thing I said is, we want a fast start. Well, I barely got comfy in my seat, and I thought, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go back. Team news. What do you think? The starting 11. There was a surprise, I guess, with Smith Rowe, as it's transpired. He was ill last week, but he's got COVID this week.
Should that be a worry?
What, that he's got COVID?
It's just one of those things. I suppose, if you're ill, then your immune system's suppressed, and then you can be susceptible to being ill again.
Apparently, he's symptomless. He just tested positive. Look, I don't know what the rules are now governing, because it's recommended advice now. It's not. I
guess by law, even if you're, if you test positive but you have no symptoms, then you just carry on as normal, essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas I assume the Premier League have got some kind of remit where they basically say you still should isolate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I stopped being able to keep up on a personal level. I have no idea what the Premier League rules states at all. But obviously, not having him on the bench, or I believe he would have started instead of Martinelli. So not having Martinelli and or Smith Rowe on the bench left us with just one option off the bench, really, in Pepe. And that was a pre-game concern. I expected Watford to be a lot tighter, especially after a 0-0 draw at Old Trafford. Although, having said that, a friend of mine who was at the United-Watford game as a United fan, he said they absolutely battered them first half, but just didn't score. Second half was a lot more flat. But and we knew that Tomiyasu wasn't going to make it for this game. So, I mean, look, that team, that's our team. That's our starting 11. Well, that's our starting 13 if you have Cedric and Martinelli there. That's just, so we're almost full strength.
Yeah.
And 15 seconds in, we were 1-0 down.
Yeah, very bizarre. I sort of don't think I was paying attention when it happened. That I just saw them wheeling away, and I was like, "What on earth's gone on there?" So
I hadn't, yeah.
Only from the replay, did I see that it was,
It wasn't even. It was a marginal call as well.
It wasn't the most obvious one, but well done, linesman.
He was offside, and it would have been chalked off by VAR. You'd have thought. Can I just moan about another penalty decision we didn't get?
I don't think enough was made of that.
Yes. Oh, good. I thought you were going to offer some mitigation. No, that's good.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a horrific challenge, but the guys clipped him.
He'd given 2 free kicks to Watford for identical fouls. That toe outside the Arsenal penalty area earlier on in the game. Yeah. No, I don't blame. Look, the referee can't see everything. I don't blame the referee in this case at all. But VAR.
That is the point of it, isn't it?
It was a clear and obvious. I mean, Lacazette's twice he's been taken out, and you could see when Lacazette was substitute, he was chuntering away at the fourth official, saying like, "Did you not see? Did you not see?" He knew he'd been kicked. Anyway, sorry, I've jumped on ahead again in my.
No, that's fine. It was a good offside call by the linesman, but we were slightly asleep, and I just thought, oh, here we go. We started poorly. This could shake us, and then what was it? 3 or 4 minutes in.
Yeah, listen, I know. I maybe it's because he shares a first name with me. I don't know, but I do bang the Ødegaard drum quite loudly. I think he's really undervalued within the Arsenal fan base. That's me just testing the temperature of that online, like via Twitter primarily. But I love his vision. I love his movement. I love his energy. He links. He's so fluid. I cannot believe we got him for 30 million quid. Oh, hello. I can't believe we got him for 30 million quid off Real Madrid. And I've seen someone retweeted a Real Madrid's fans Twitter account.
Right.
And they were bemoaning the fact that they let Ødegaard go. That, they obviously saw him as a 16-year-old something worth pursuing. And that why, as he's turning 22, 23, would you not try and
get rid of him?
Yeah, you want to try and kind of maximize. This is when he comes into his, his kind of his own, really. And I just think he's, and again, I know and I can't ignore the fact that Saka today was your Rolls Royce player as well. I mean,
he was just
the way he touches that ball. It's the way he caresses it. I'm like, that is just that's dream stuff. That is.
I feel like there's a slight contrast. They're both silky players, but there's an intensity to Ødegaard's like just his manner, whereas Saka just looks like he's just down the park with his mate, just having a kick about.
And long may that continue for him.
Oh, it's just wonderful to see.
I mean, that goal was just brilliant. I mean, the Ødegaard back heel to Saka, and then you can tell that they look for each other all the time. And I love the way Saka. No. Sorry, I'm mixing the two goals up. Yeah. And Saka played it back into Ødegaard, and I like the calmness with which Ødegaard took that. He just passed it into the side of the goal that was unattended. It was just no panic, completely calm, like he was a natural born goal scorer, unlike our goal scorer.
Yeah, there's a few things. I think the word I'm going to be using, or the phrase I'm going to be using quite a lot, is trade-off. So we talk about how we've got a first 11 of maybe 12 or 13 you know, the benefit is there's clearly some relationships building between the players. However, obviously the negative is 1 or 2 injuries will suddenly expose the lack of depth that we've probably got. And you know, similarly with our striker, you know, the benefit is his work rate, his link-up play, the way he brings those 3 kids in behind him is just excellent. But it just isn't prolific enough.
Well, I mean, prolific enough is being very generous.
But I didn't realize, you know, it's one of those things. What was the stat that came up on the screen towards the end when he was
one goal in 28 shots,
but 7 assists?
Yes, that's 2 today,
and 2 of them today. So I think it was over a period of like 28 games as well. So there's an element of that's kind of, you know, 1 goal involvement, to sound like a very modern fan, every sort of, you know, what is it, 4 or 5?
Yeah. 8, 4. We're English teachers. Maths. Let's leave the maths out of it.
Yeah, which isn't ideal, but as long as those 3 keep chipping in,
you have to give Lacazette credit today. There were 2 good assists as well, and his work. But I must admit, donning my glasses, I took notes today, and my first thing was for the second goal. We'll come back to the equaliser in a minute. So I don't know what minute that our second goal was. I can't remember what minute it was, but all I wrote for that was Lacazette touched the ball, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. That's the first touch I remember him having. That was it. My notes. Right, okay, their goal. Now, I'm going to upset you a little bit here.
Why?
I'm going to ask you a question about their goal.
Ben White?
No, where was Tierney? Why was Martinelli left facing up the winger with an overlap? I mean, even on the TV screen, we could see the runner, we could see him coming. We knew what the guy was going to do, and Martinelli's completely taken out of the game. I haven't looked at it again. Genuinely asking, where was Tierney at that point?
Well, he's playing very narrow. I messaged you through the game saying it's a good job Tierney is quite withdrawn in his role, because there was a point where our front 4 had barreled forward, and then Odegaard was trying to get back, and it was a good job we had our flat back 4. Yeah. And I think there's just the handbrake has been put on Tierney a little bit, perhaps for his fitness and his physicality. But you know, when Watford are building down one wing, he doesn't necessarily go out and take up a position marking the widest player. He stays slightly more central, because the expectation is on, you know, Martinelli on one side or Saka on the other to chip in with a bit of defensive work. But like you say, it's you know, could cut out the cross at source. I must admit, when it went in, and first of all, it's a bloody amazing finish.
Yeah, no, it's the kind of finish I'd like to be.
Oh my god, I'd love to be able to do that maneuver and be able to get up.
Without
37,
without A&E, without a trip to A&E following.
I just didn't feel like, sometimes you just sort of hold your hand up and go, yeah, not a lot you can do about that, really.
And obviously, no, absolutely. I mean, look, the finish was just world class. It was brilliant, and against any other team, I'd be applauding, and I wouldn't even be looking at it. But I do think that we were quite open the whole game, and I think that was that. I mean, the own goal, the disallowed goal on 15 seconds, and then this happened all within the first 9 minutes. And I'm like, you know, this is a bit of an omen if we don't tighten up. They can clearly, you know, and we didn't know. And it was a far. I mean, I was kind of grinding my teeth for the last 5 minutes of the game, and I'm like, I didn't envisage that.
It did feel, I mean, slightly uncomfortable. I must admit, there must be some development with this team, because I didn't have the pure stress that I've had in the past. Maybe that says more about me.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I even put a tenner on Watford to get an equaliser, just so I'd have 100. I was so convinced it would happen. I'd have 100 quid in my back pocket as a safety, as a like a consolation prize. I was happy to lose that £10, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was just like, and again, it was just, I just saw, it's old Arsenal, like unconditioned, and it was the penalty decision that was fueling that fear as much as anything. We've been quite profligate in front of goal before that as well, and we had a couple of great opportunities where, for one reason or another, that final pass didn't quite segue into a great opportunity for one of our attackers. But actually, Watford didn't threaten after the goal.
Well, this is it. The flip side to that is, you know, Watford's quality was just that so much less that, you know, right at the end when they're pumping balls long, 2 or 3 go straight through to Ramsdale, then the next one goes a bit short. I didn't have that edge to worry.
And I noticed the commentator noted this a couple of times. I don't know, it might have been Alan Smith as well, that there's a different side to us now. We had that kind of professional winding the game down, you know, take a bit of a time or a bit of cramp, breaking the game up. The Man City, basically what Man City do.
I think the modern parlance is shithousery.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Which Ramsdale's brought in, and I know, you know, Gabriel is a bit of a master at that. Even Tierney, as much as I love Tierney, the whole ball in the stomach and then falling on the floor.
Yeah, but did you see?
I get why he does it.
Yeah,
but come on.
But the Watford player went down holding his face and trying to get a Ben White sent off. Like there was no contact to his face at all. He did about 5 rolls on the floor as well, which is always a clear sign there's a bit of play acting in play. But yeah, but actually we then took the lead again. Another absolutely superb goal. Remind me, Laka touched the ball is all I've written for it.
Well, Laka assist, and then you know, tidy finish from Saka.
Saka won the ball back. That's what he did against Cleverley. Yeah, that was brilliant. I mean, you know, that's that attitude. It's great. He won the ball back, and then he won the ball back with his left foot, turned, played it to Laka with his right foot, all in perpetual movement, and then moved to the left for the layoff. And I loved it. He did the keeper with the eyes completely. And Ben Foster was diving off to his right, and the ball had already hit the back of the net to his left. Absolutely superb, you know, supreme goal. I loved it. Did anything else happen in the second half? In the first half, up to half time?
I don't think so. Not especially that I can remember. Anyway, I mean, it's just happened.
I've written, see, as you get older, that short-term memory goes. And I remember things I did about 25 years ago, but I'm like 25 minutes ago, I kind of need to, did I write that down somewhere, you know? I've written, still sloppy, conceding possession far too easily. And then on 41 minutes, I've written, no stupid red cards, please. And this was the incident with Granit Xhaka.
Did his best.
And someone tweeted, normal Xhaka, or the Xhaka we've grown to tolerate, perhaps, maybe not love. You know, the push he got in the back, he would have reacted to that. He would have gone like eyeballs and done something stupid. But someone tweeted that actually they've noticed a difference in him. And it may be because, I think you mentioned it last game, that the pressure's off him a little bit as that last man in midfield. And maybe he's just relaxed a little bit more.
Yeah. But I feel like we're using him in the way that Switzerland do. You know, there was a period where obviously he's tended to kind of, I don't want to use the word struggled, but he has been exposed an awful lot playing for us. And so, you know, I've watched a few Switzerland games in, you know, qualifiers and Nations League, because they made the semi-finals, I think, of one of the Nations League, and whatnot. And he's so much more advanced than we were using him at the time. And I just thought, well, why aren't we using him in that way? Because he's clearly not N'Golo Kante. He's clearly not Jorginho.
Well, you know why?
He's a different kind of player.
we were using him that far back, not because of his defensive capabilities, but to pick the ball off the back two, and spray his left foot passes diagonally across. And I think with Ben White in the team, we've got that covered. And actually, Gabriel's a decent, and Partey and Gabriel's a decent passer of the ball as well. So we've actually. It's just, I mean, it's just mad to think. It just points to a whole lot of joined up thinking by Arteta and the management, and I doff my cap because I can get on board with that.
Looking interesting at the minute. I mean, even the last couple of games, the likes, Nketiah has come on and looked more
involved,
switched down, plugged in to doing what he needs to do off the bench. So there's definitely something there, isn't there?
I mean, I must admit, I did write down that Tierney, Laka and Martinelli, and I added Ramsdale in the second half. He got a bit jittery for me. But Tierney, Laka and Martinelli, I didn't think had great games by half time.
Well, I thought Laka was doing all right.
He touched the ball for the goal. That was his first touch of the ball, as far as I could. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, perhaps. But I didn't. Yeah, and I thought Martinelli was. And I've had a little bit concerned about Martinelli for a while, and he did allay those with his goal. I just wanted a bit of end product with him. With Smith Rowe, you're guaranteed end products almost for a 20-year-old. And Martinelli had kind of head down, run into blind alleys and so on. And
I feel like even when Smith Rowe plays, Smith Rowe certainly seems to be a little bit more involved in the game. That build-up play that we were praising Odegaard and Saka.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe seems to provide a little bit of that as well, whereas Martinelli feels almost like a throwback type winger, where he's hanging out in space and waiting for the ball, and then, like you say, when he gets it, head down, see where he ends up. So maybe there's still a little bit of calming to do to his play.
And he took his goal brilliantly. I did wonder had it taken a deflection.
I didn't.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant.
So if we're moving on to the second half, can we talk about Arteta's role in the goal?
Yeah, I was waiting for VAR to disallow it somehow.
It did feel, again, another one that took me by surprise. Absolutely fantastic. Again, that game management. They're I can't remember the name of the player. Begins with L.
Laus.
He misplaces that pass, and you can just see that if we are switched on to that throw, there's space there. And I saw whoever it was, I think it must have been Cedric, bombing forward into that space. And like you say, Arteta's there, throws the ball to Saka, throws it in, ball's played across, bang, goal. Just brilliant.
Because I did look, Arteta was well out of his area.
Well out of his area.
Now, is he? Could they have disallowed that?
Oh, it would have been very pedantic.
Yeah, but we had Martinelli got 2 yellow cards in 10 seconds and got sent off.
Oh, I wouldn't have put it past officials to do that, but I think it would have been a real.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure.
It would have been another first. Put it that way.
I was a little bit nervous about. I was still waiting for the commentator to say. I was waiting for the live feed to come back again, so we could see that Watford had taken the kickoff and so on. Just before, I don't relax now until I see that happening. That we've got that goal. I know again.
Similarly, late on when Watford were trying to push for it, how many times did the referee reset the free kick when they wanted to take it quickly? Yeah. So actually, there was that lack of consistency. You can understand why they might be a little bit aggrieved, but.
And the Watford fans were on our backs for time wasting quite early on. Again, I can get on board with that. Just
like we do at the Emirates. I find it so pathetic sometimes. Literally, first kick of the game, 5 minutes gone, and just because the player is walking back to the 6-yard box and not running, we have people around us already on the pointing at their watches. Oh, it's just ridiculous. The refs will manage it. If they are time wasting, they will have the time on. It makes so
and he did 5 minutes added on. I think was.
We had at least another couple, didn't we?
Yeah. Right, second half. I've written Okay, lack of touch, Martinelli. Wow, there's my very descriptive um, portrayal of our third goal.
Well, it oozes that difference, for all the complaints. And by the way, Man City have just taken the lead.
Fantastic.
Which is brilliant for us.
Hang on, is that only 5 minutes in?
Pardon?
Is that only 5 minutes in?
4 minutes, 30 seconds on mine. Yeah.
Tell me, I'm not watching it. I knew you said you were going to have it on, so
I've got to have it on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I would otherwise have it here somehow. Is it definitely given?
Well, at the moment, yeah, but they're only just showing the replay. It's one of those. I'd really love a United pasting. To hopefully get Man City back online, because Liverpool are obviously looking quite dangerous again, but also because we need United to fall away.
Yeah, and just on the Liverpool game yesterday, I was going to message you and say I hope Liverpool play this poorly defensively when they turn up at us next week or the week after. I was really encouraged by West Ham's performance at Anfield, I must admit.
Yeah. I don't know if it's me, but I did notice there were quite a few Van Dijk errors. He's not looking the sort of imperious, player is. Don't get me wrong. He's still one of the best defenders in the league. Listen, it's just for his ridiculously high standards. There were a couple of times where he was playing the player onside, or he didn't quite get the clearance right. So, but Konate, who they've signed, he looks pretty decent as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Van Dijk will be quaking in his boots at our own number 9.
That's it. Well, I mean, we have to play with that view of Laka has to have, his best game in terms of back to goal, bringing in the others.
Yeah.
And we hope that Saka and Martinelli, or Smith Rowe if he's back, exploit how far forward their fullbacks get.
In theory, we should do quite well against Liverpool, the way Liverpool play. I'm not saying defensively, I'm saying in an attacking sense. We should have some joy in their final third. In our final third. Is it our final third? In their box, we should have some joy going forward. I mean, it hasn't always transpired that way with us against them, but
that's why, I mean, I'm sure our fixture with Liverpool is one of the highest in terms of goals involved in the game. That's usually to them. It has been in recent years. I get that, but like you say, there shouldn't be too many. Liverpool are going to score, and Liverpool are probably going to win. But a bit like Watford today, there's no reason why we shouldn't have a go and
let them earn it. As I always say,
exactly.
If Liverpool earn a win against us, then good luck to them. I'll have no qualms about that at all. I'll be disappointed, but I'll be like, fair play. They're a better team than us. They should beat us. It's
massively
simple as that. I think that knowing we've got Liverpool and Chelsea and Spurs and United, and I think 2 of those away, 2 of those at home, it just put more pressure on the 3 points today.
Well, every game's a cup final now.
Yeah,
that's how it feels.
I mean, we've got Leicester at home on Sunday, next Sunday, and that's absolutely, that's another cup final, 3 points. Got to try and that won't be easy.
No.
And then it's Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that's kind of almost, if we beat Leicester, the Liverpool game is kind of a free hit.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was always going to be, but Leicester are a funny one, because I watched the first half, I think, against Leeds yesterday. Leeds were all over them.
Really?
Leicester can be got at. Leicester have got so many defenders injured that they really can be got at. Now, Leeds ended up losing because football's a bit of a cruel mistress. Leeds have improved, but their confidence is clearly quite low. And Leeds are missing the spine of their team.
Yeah.
Bamford, Calvin Phillips and Cooper is like their entire spine. Yeah. So given their form, they did very well against Leicester for a long period of the game. So, given our form, I'd hope for the same. However, games against Leicester, they're always fairly tight and can go one way or the other. And Vardy's back, which is always a worry because he always tends to do bloody well against us.
Yeah, I mean, we're better defensively than Leeds, and we're better in attacking sense than Leeds. So based on what you've said there, we should have confidence going into this game. And we're off the back of 4 straight wins, and about 2 of those against Wolves.
Yeah,
and it's great. Wolves have gone to pieces since we beat them.
Yeah. Was it? No, it wasn't Villa yesterday. Who was it who beat them yesterday?
They lost. Was it 2-0? They were 2-0 down, like Brentford or someone like that.
Very quickly. No, Palace. Might have been Palace. Brentford beat Norwich. They absolutely smashed them.
Oh yeah, Ivan Toney hat-trick.
I know that. Being in Norfolk and married into a family of canaries, didn't go down well.
Yeah, I'm afraid Norwich won't be in the Premier League next year.
And they're very aware of that.
I mean, they've got a manager to get them out of the Championship next year. Really, that's probably kind of part of their planning. Really, there.
Well, it's their planning that is the issue. You know, they are a selling club, but at the moment, I don't think they've got any players that other teams will court, and you know, in the Championship they'll probably do okay.
Have they got that fullback still, Max Aarons?
Yeah, but I think, I think he's good. However, there's an element of, I'm only going on, you know, rumours and, you know, newspaper sort of like speculation and stuff like that. But he's a bit moody, I think, behind the scenes is what's the suggestion has been made. And I think a little bit of that is probably being disgruntled that he didn't get a big move maybe a season or 2 ago.
He might have been promised one.
And it's not come to bear. And at the moment, you know, there's no one really looking likely from
that ship may have sailed for him.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just going online because you talk about fullbacks and right backs like Max Aarons is, and we've got a guy on loan at Lincoln.
Yes.
Have you heard of Norton Cuffley or something like that? I'm just going to get Lincoln. If you go onto YouTube later,
Lincoln's season is sort of down more than it is up. You know, they have flashes where they'll get a good result. The problem, they just haven't had any run of results.
Yeah, Norton Cuffey.
Right.
He's ostensibly he's described on the Arsenal site as a centre back, but he's actually been playing as right wing back, and he's very athletic, very physical. But he's only 18, and they love him there. And he scored a really good goal yesterday for them. They won. They beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-1.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And he scored the goal to put them 2-1 up. Yeah, they are. They're only 7 points above the relegation zone, but they have a game in hand. They probably will be quite safe. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday
they'll be safe, and they look at it as a disappointing season because Appleton, who's the manager, I know he's had a spell off with illness himself, but they've got a good squad and they use the loan market really well. And they should have been pushing for promotion, but the season's just not worked out like that. But like you say, they'll beat Sheffield Wednesday, who are, you know, in the hunt for promotion, but then they'll go and lose to someone else, you know, who's around them or below them.
And I wonder, because this guy could be the Cedric replacement in our squad next season. He's 18. He's getting a lot of minutes for Lincoln. He's doing really well. I know it's only League One, but if you're good enough.
Cedric's got 2 more years?
I don't know. I thought it was like about 12 years, wasn't it?
12 years. Okay, yeah. What about, because I don't know why, but I saw a rumour online as well about Saliba. It seems to be looking more and more likely like he might just end up going to France and staying there.
Really?
Marseille certainly won him. I think it was a quote from the Marseille president that basically they're going to give Arteta an ultimatum or something and say, look, we can't keep taking him on loan, but we won him permanently.
I think I heard Real Madrid were interested as well. I think he's one of the top centre backs in like young centre backs in European football. He's only 20 and he's played more minutes at 20. People like you mentioned Van Dijk earlier, and he is probably the best centre back at the moment. Where was he at 20?
Yeah.
I don't even know where he was at 20. Was he at Celtic? Had he even gone to Celtic at 20?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He might have been at Celtic, and then he went to Southampton, and then he wended his way to Liverpool. I don't know where Saliba plays.
No.
When he comes back,
does he fulfill a role? You know, he basically comes in and takes the spot of Rob Holding, and then it's up to him to prove himself when he gets the chance. You know,
I think he has to. I think that has to be the case. Our hand is a lot stronger if we're in the Champions League.
Oh, massively.
He will want to come to it. He'll want to come back. I mean, anything I've heard him say and Arteta and Arsenal say points to a new contract,
right,
and a return to Arsenal. Now, I've not seen those comments you're referring
like I
to.
say, that's other people outside. You know, that's the Marseille president who.
And of course he wants him
nailed down. Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice position to be in. We've got 3 centre backs who would be the envy of the majority of teams out there.
And you know what? Holden's a really solid squad player as well.
Yeah.
You know, great option off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's see what else I've written. 71 minutes. Watford sitter, tighten up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that tighten up, that's from minute 1, isn't it?
Yeah, it
71.
is.
It was
Oh, no, I missed one. Sorry, 56 minutes. Need a 4th.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then underneath that, I've written Lacazette with the word sheesh alongside it.
Oh, that his swing and a miss.
I think it was. I think it must have been.
He was so in the mindset of, I need to lay the ball off and set someone else up, that when he got the ball back, he was like, oh, well, I better swing a leg.
It was on his weaker foot as well.
Yeah, it was.
I thought a more confident Lacazette would have taken that on himself with his right foot.
Well, that's what I think as where we've ended up. We've ended up with Lacazette, who is essentially playing as a number 10 in the number 9 position. It's a bizarre sort of setup that we seem to have.
Look, we're actually scoring goals and we're winning. So you're not, I am. I shouldn't be quite so negative about his place in the team. Yeah, because like, why on earth would you change a winning team? So the question,
to me, there's no alternative. I know people talk about playing either Martinelli or Pepe through the middle, but for me, I just see that as a non-starter, because both those players don't have the presence that Lacazette does, and actually both of their end products are questionable, just like Lacazette's is. So I think Lacazette solves a few more problems.
And there's no question over his application or his attitude at all. I think
fantastic.
I did find it funny. The Arsenal fans were singing his song, and there's a line in it where it says scoring goals is what he does best. Is it?
Well, I know, but that's sometimes you've got to sacrifice truth for the rhyme scheme. And...
Yeah, spoken like a true linguist.
On the subject of the crowd and chants, have we adapted the Ian Wright chant for Ben White, or was that the Watford fans?
I don't know. I heard the Vieira song.
I heard Ole, 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 Ole. Ben, right. I'm sure I heard that, but I haven't.
Okay, I'd be on board with that as well. I think.
Well, I'm not adverse to that, because I do think there are more players who should have chants of their own. Odegaard's not got a chance.
Yes, Odegaard needs a chant. I mean, I'm not going to start one up. I think you're more skilled in that sense. So I challenge thee to coin a Martin Odegaard chant for our next chat.
I mean,
a very good one.
The first thing that's percolating in my head is somehow total eclipse of the heart, but Odegaard at the end. Maybe there's something there. I'll explore that.
You work. That's your homework for the week. You can be gazing out the window wistfully during one of your year 10 lessons, and they can ask you, "Sir, what are you doing?" And you can say, "What rhymes with Odegaard?"
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what have I written then? Pepe for Martinelli, right call. Just in case Arteta wanted my kind of
Nice, yeah. I mean, Pepe's looking a good option for off the bench. I like the fact that Arteta's calling on him again because
and first, yeah,
because like you say, ahead of Nketiah to a point as well, because Pepe's unpredictability is his biggest strength. Bringing him on later on in the game when the opposition are tired or pushing for further goals is, makes a logical sort of sense. And he had one or two opportunities. He did okay.
Yeah, he did. No, absolutely. Okay. The next thing I've written down is just made me chuckle a little bit. So this is the penalty incident.
Right.
So I wrote down in like kind of my horror, a total aghast at the decision. I hadn't seen the replay at this point. Why would Laka go down? And then in brackets afterwards, I wrote, because he's crap.
You've got to change your mindset on Lacazette.
I do. And then I wrote underneath it, penalty, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I'm having this great dialogue with my little notebook during the game.
He had a good game.
No, he did. And I wrote underneath that.
Like it was weird. In real time, at first I thought, you look like he sort of fell over in stages. And
which he does do. Which he does,
and he has done. But then as soon as the replay was on, I was like, and I wasn't indignant. I was just like, well, why haven't they had more of a look at that? It was bizarre. It was like the one in the first half where Cedric was challenged. I had almost the reversal. The Watford player played it on to Cedric and it went off or nipped in before him. But obviously, real time from the camera angle, I was like, penalty! Oh my god!
Well, Ødegaard went like that penalty.
Man United have just equalised.
What?
Sancho against Man City, had to happen, didn't it?
VAR will intervene with that, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. Cedric's penalty, I was like, that must be a penalty. And then he saw the replay and actually, that's a brilliant
really good tackle, yeah. And
whereas the Lacazette one, I mean, he's kicked his leg. I don't see how that's not a penalty.
And then my final comment, because I gave up, was this has got 3-3 written all over it. And I think it was at that point I put 10 quid on.
There was a time when that was the case, but I think given how we've dug in certain games this season, and given, for all Watford's effort, I think we gifted them a lot of chances. We were so open and they just didn't have the quality to exploit it. Next week, if we are open like that against Leicester, and especially if we're open like that against Liverpool in the game after that, we'll get absolutely ruined. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing Arteta's post-match, because I hope that he references that and goes, look, win great goals, but
what did he do? Straight as soon as I don't know which goal it was we scored, but he called, I think it was a 2-1. Was it a 2-1? He just kind of went like that, and then he quickly called Xhaka and Gabriel over to have he wasn't happy at all. So I think absolutely he was aware that we were very open for whatever reason. But even like a 3-1 up, Xhaka was still on the edge of their penalty area. It's not like but then he has been recently. So I don't know if we did anything different ahead of today's game. No. Sometimes you just got to think maybe the opposition, maybe we anticipated being far more in control, and for whatever reason, they took us by surprise a little bit. But
that's it. We had more possession in that game than we have in, ages. I think, it was one of those games where, it felt like a bit of a throwback.
Yeah. So next up, we're fourth. Even if United draw, we're fourth.
City. I can't see City losing this. The only way they lose against United is because United are doing that classic, sit back and then try and hit them on the counter.
Which is what Spurs did to win. I don't know. Well, I'm just hoping more than anything. I mean, well, look, we can only do our job. We can win our games. but it would be nice.
But that's what's so frustrating, and that's what makes every game so important and so stressful, because, you know, every time that, you know, the teams below us and around us, you know, West Ham, Man United, and even Wolves and Spurs to an extent, every time they win, you just think, oh, okay, shit,
Yeah,
we've got to do it. And we've got some tough games at various points.
yeah. And we've got to play 3 of those 4 teams as well. West Ham away, Spurs away, Man United at home,
and Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yeah. So it's a long way to go.
Feels like there's so many games left.
Yeah. Are we not down to the last 3 or 4 yet? No.
Oh.
But I want to get that's why today and Leicester game, they're the ones we need, those 3 points, because it looks like United and Spurs and West Ham will also drop points.
Yeah.
It'll be different if one of those teams went, and United are the one team that could do that with the quality of player they have. If one of those teams goes on I don't understand how Spurs are still actually, if everyone wins their games in hand, Spurs are the nearest team to us. But I can't see any of those teams going on a 6-7 match winning streak, because if they do, it's probably curtains for us. Although we are the team currently threatening that.
Yeah. 4 in a row. Yeah.
So, you know, we're not going to get to 6, because that would mean beating Leicester and Liverpool, and I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't be so defeatist about Liverpool. Liverpool, I don't know when's their Champions League game?
I don't know. I was just thinking when you said about West Ham that they're, you know, West Ham and United have got to manage their European encounters as well. United have the squad for it. West Ham is slightly trickier.
Bowen went off injured yesterday. I don't know.
Bowen went off injured, and look, I don't know. It was a knee. If it's just an impact, then he'll probably be fine. But
the
way he limped off did not look good. No.
And no Ronaldo or Cavani in the United squad today.
No.
And so they're going with is Rashford playing?
I don't know. My phone's too small. I don't think he is. I think that's a front 3 of Pogba, Sancho, and Fernandes.
Right. Okay. So they are hitting them on the break. That's
I really can't see. I can't tell. I didn't see the team news for their game.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I was nervous before this game started. I was really pleased with how we played in an attacking sense. Yeah. I was very nervous. I was comfortable at 3-1. I was relaxed. I did think a 4th would be nice. I thought the penalty decision that was ridiculously denied us. I just feared at that point, the fatalist in me feared at that point that, this is going to come back. Only Arsenal could be refused a penalty at 3-1 up with 20 minutes to go, and it cost them. But it didn't. And again, like I said, my takeaway, I haven't done any takeaway since then, actually, because that takeaway was so good. I think, quit while I'm ahead, that we're finding a way to win.
Speaking of while ahead, Man City have just taken the lead. De Bruyne with his 2nd as well.
I'm loving that.
All very scrappy in the United box, and then it just fell to him.
We should actually just go and watch it now. It's on in the other room.
Might be a good time, yeah.
Where are we now? 5 o'clock.
They're half an hour in, so there's still plenty of time left.
Yeah. As soon as I start watching it, United will start winning. So that's.
Well, if you start watching it and United score, you know what you got to do.
No, absolutely. I'm switching that off. I'm getting back to my year 11 exam scripts.
I'm sure there's I'll have to talk to my friend who studied psychology, because I'm sure there's a thing where there's that belief that somehow your actions in the world, have an impact on things that absolutely don't. But yeah, every football fan knows that kind of superstitious behaviour.
Have you actually read Fever Pitch?
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah,
so it's him with the gummy bear out the window.
And
I crossed the road when I'm walking to the game. I cross the road. Once I get to Holloway Road, we cross the roads at the same places every time.
Well, we always eat at the same place, and to be honest, quite often order the same food. It's just ridiculous. The level of superstition, routine, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, habit.
Well, we're on a winning streak here. This is our 4th podcast, and this is our 4th win.
Absolutely.
It's got to end sometime, but
next week will be a little bit of a later one, won't it? 4:30 kickoff against Leicester.
Yeah.
So the game will finish about 6:30, and then I usually have about 3, maybe 4 hours to get home. Yeah, it's going to be 9:30, 10 o'clock before we chat. I don't know what I'll have on the Monday, but my lesson planning might be quite,
Listen, plan your lessons on
efficient,
Friday.
I would say.
Plan your lessons on Friday.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Although I coined the DHP approach to planning many, many moons ago, which is the door handle planning route.
Right. Okay.
As I'm walking to the classroom, I'm thinking, right, okay.
What are we going to do?
Who have I got now? Is my first question. What did we do the last day? No idea. I don't know what. I'll try that. And the first question I asked them is, right, who can tell me what we did yesterday?
That's it. Lesson? You're testing their prior knowledge and recall skills.
Yes, trying to prompt or spark my memory into some kind of life.
One slight advantage is I'm mentoring a trainee teacher at the minute, so she's taken a few lessons here and there.
Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. And she's good as well. I've got no worries. She's doing great.
Brilliant. And you got some more marking time for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. What did we say? So 4 wins in a row. Leicester.
It's all looking pretty rosy.
Are you confident of finishing 4th yet?
Oh, absolutely not. No. I keep looking. I keep expecting to see 35, 36 games played, but it's not. It's miles.
25. We're on 25.
And it's that thing of I suppose when the fixtures are more on parity, we just have no idea. Although I sort of do, because in my head, Liverpool's a defeat, Chelsea's probably a defeat.
They're not important. They're not important. The two important
Spurs
ones.
And United. Yeah. Spurs and United.
They're the 2 important ones.
Those games. And I'm still down to go to Spurs away midweek.
Oh, yes.
Well, absolutely ruin myself for work the next day, driving back that late to Norfolk. But then even United, I mean, has that been scheduled yet?
No, I haven't heard.
Game? That's going to be agony. I'm going to hate that game.
Yes, I will. Oh, that's going to be midweek, isn't it?
Is it?
It will be, won't it?
No, I thought United was a...
is it scheduled already? Yes, it is.
United's just one of those games. It's not a catch-up game.
No, it's not. It's not. I'll tell you when.
Whereas Spurs will be midweek. It's got to be. Unless it's like a cup weekend, maybe. But even then, I think from now on, that wouldn't really affect it anyway. Right, yeah, well, those 2 games, that they will probably end up deciding who gets 4th.
Oh, Man United games Saturday 3 o'clock. So TV haven't got involved with that yet.
No, that'll be on telly.
It's the 23rd of April, which is that the weekend before we go back to school. Oh no, that's the weekend of the first week back. I don't know when you guys are breaking up.
Yeah, it's after. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing something on the 22nd. Maybe I can't remember, but that'll be on the Sunday. That's bound to be a Sunday. Yes,
that'll be the 4:30 kickoff on the Sunday. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and that'll be horrible.
But I hate that.
They don't look in great shakes either. I don't know, I can't see them doing a sit back and try and counter like they're trying to do against Man City now, against us. And I don't know. Rationally, I'll be more confident of the United game, but when I'm actually there in my seat watching it, I'll be a bag of nerves. I
mean, I know I could be shot down for this, but I hate the United game more than the Spurs game.
Yeah.
I always do that. I still haven't got over our defeat up at their place this season.
That was crap, wasn't it? Yeah.
So no, but they're the ones. I mean, hopefully we could be in a position where 2 draws in those games will be enough for us. And that's why winning these games is absolutely crucial. And the Leicester game comes under that heading as well. Must win.
Well, it's Leicester, Liverpool, Brentford. And so you look at 3 games, there's 9 points on offer.
6 is the result.
6 would be, I think, ideal.
I'd take it now. If you offered me 6 now and the defeats to Liverpool, I'd take it.
Yeah. And 4 would feel like damage sort of limitation, but anything less than that, is probably gonna hurt us in the run up to those matches against Spurs. And
although we are assuming that the other teams are going to keep winning their games, and they haven't been so far. So it's not just our own kind of proclivities we've got to worry about. You ask a Spurs fan and a United fan now, are they confident? Not at all. Spurs fans are walking around the school in dejected fashion. United fans are like they're angry. They're angry at the club, everything about it, the management, everything, the players. They were booed off against Watford at a final whistle for the first time. That was the case this season. So we get kind of caught up in our little Arsenal world. Yeah. But other fans are suffering just as much, if not more. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't swap places with any of them, irrespective of what happens this season. No. I just think our squad is really promising. I like the strategy behind the scenes in terms of recruitment. A couple of decent young players coming through that we haven't actually seen yet. And a midfielder and a striker. I mean, we would be dangerous with the goal-scoring striker. I know I've done it again. Sorry. I can't help it. But we would. We would.
That's right. Yeah.
Tammy Abraham scored 20 goals in Italy already.
Has he?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Well, is Italy the home of defending like it used to be?
Vlahovic is doing really well.
We were never getting Vlahovic.
No. We're not at all. We weren't. No, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, right, okay. We'll call it there. Another happy occasion. I wonder what these will feel like when we've lost the game.
Yeah, that'll be the test, won't it? How enthusiastic we come on.
It might be good cathartic experience.
Yes.
Get it out of your system, kind of thing. But anyway, look, hopefully now I can go and watch the second half of City battering United. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I'm intrigued to hear the commentary because there was just a massive stoppage where the referee even came over. All the players and the referee came over to the benches. So I don't know if there was a medical emergency in the crowd or something like that. So yeah, something was going on.
Do you watch cricket at all?
Yes.
I can't. You've just mentioned that. I cannot believe Shane Warne. The news about Shane Warne.
Weirdly, I've always liked cricket and followed cricket at an international level, but only last year, me and a colleague went to see one of the 100 matches when that first sort of hit up, and it just so happened to be the team that Shane Warne was coaching. And sadly, the men's game got sort of rained off. But, in the run up to it, he and his team were like walking just in front of us, going to have a practice in nets. And he was, generous with his time with the crowd and saying hello and everything like that. And you just think, to me, I know he's had his, periods when he hasn't looked as healthy, but he looked in good nick. And it's
absolutely. I mean, I hated him as a cricketer. At the time.
That's the beauty of the Aussies, isn't it?
Yeah, he was so bloody good.
He was so good. The best.
He could get that ball to spin on how. And he played cricket like Ian Wright played football.
Yeah.
As a fan,
totally.
Heart and soul into it. What you see is what you get. No shades there. And as a commentator, a co-commentator, he was brilliant. Yeah. His humor. I really liked him as a co-commentator. I thought he was excellent, and I didn't think I would. But he's got real personality.
You expect the sort of the Gary Neville effect.
I was just thinking that
someone you hated while they were a player, when they become a commentator, and you're like, oh, actually, they're quite reasonable and funny and or all those.
For Gary Neville, that was most frustrating for me. Yeah, and absolutely. And I just couldn't believe it. I was shocked, and I'm not a huge cricket fan, but I do watch the international cricket, the World Cups, the one-day game, the 5-day game.
If it's England playing in a cricket match, I'll try.
And the Ashes, I obviously love. I didn't see much of the most recent tour of Australia, but then the English batters.
For that first ball. I stayed up for that first ball. I watched that first ball, and then I
switched off.
Over Christmas, I wasn't doing that to myself.
Yeah. Anyway, so just a little kind of homage to Shane Warne there. Only 52 as well. Like, he's only a few years older than me. Far too young. Anyway, right. Okay, we'll end it there. Now we'll quit. We'll quit there. Have a great evening, and we'll catch up with you next game. All right.
Take it easy. See you next week.
Bye.